Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eddie Marcus, and I'm back again. I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your attention. Last night, the president made the state of, well, I wanted to say State of the Union, but I heard it wasn't a union message. It was to his base, a State of the Base message. But it was supposed to have been the State of the Union message, so I'd like to comment on a few minutes if I could. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me reacquaint you with the fact that I ran for president of the United States at least 3 times. I ran for United States Senator from the state of Minnesota at least twice. I ran for the governor of the state of Minnesota once, and I ran for mayor of the city of Woodbury and the mayor of the city of St. Paul. Now, each time I ran for these particular offices, I ran because, as far as I'm concerned, I am one of the greatest lovers on earth, not just in America, but on earth. And what do I mean when I say I'm one of the greatest lovers on earth? I mean that there is no misconception. This is not my earth. Nothing on this earth belongs to me, and that includes all you people. Even my family, my wife, and my children do not belong to me. They belong to God. Happiness belongs to God. And God meters out happiness to everyone. When you come into this earth, it's already meted out. God loves you. He wants us to love one another. And the reason that I am one of the greatest lovers on earth today is because I give God God's respect. And God's respect, in doing that, I recognize that every human being on the face of the earth was put here by God, and they deserve the same respect that God deserves. And basically what I'm saying is this, that they need, in order to stay here on earth, they need to survive. And in order to survive, there are certain things, certain requirements that's essentially necessary. Food, clothing, shelter, education, health care. And in order to meet all these things according to God's plan is to make sure that everybody who benefits from any of these things play a part in the production thereof. And that means everybody got a job. But not just any job, a job that you love. A job that you love, that gives you your greatest joy. And you just do it, and it's better than having sex. You're just doing it all the time. And you're using the resources that God has given to provide for all humans, not just in America, but all humans on earth. And because this is what I see that God wants, this is what I have been advocating through all of these years, 30-some years that I've been seeking office, is for American people and people of the earth to have these God-given blessings. Now, I have not been received by America at all. So you know I haven't been received by the rest of the world. Now, when Donald Trump ran for president, I told you that I knew that Donald Trump was not fit to be God's man. He might be fit to be your man, but he's not fit to be God's people. I said that if you put him in office, every time he stand up and start telling you lies, I would stand up and debunk it. And now, why did I say I would do that? Because I told you for a long time, I worked for the devil. I know the devil. That's why I told you Trump was working for the devil. I used to lie. I still lie every now and then, but it's what they used to call it's not going to put my life on the line, or yours. I used to cheat when I was working for the devil. I used to steal when I was working for the devil. I didn't steal much. I stole just like what you would call candy out of my parents' pocketbook. I became a man. I did some bigger stealing for your attention. Still didn't get it. But I did it, and it's on record that I stole for your attention, to let you know that God loves you, and God is tired of you letting people mess over you, but you still didn't hear it. Anyway, when Donald Trump came to make his State of the Union address last night, it started off like a marriage. You know, a marriage that's been going on for quite some time. You remember how it is when you're in love. You and your significant other, you can't keep your hands off one another. Even when you kiss, you're just transferring spit from one mouth to another mouth. You can't get enough of each other. Having been together a few years, then things go wrong. Next thing you know, you don't even speak to each other. You can't say anything decent to each other. And that's when that marriage is just about over, if it's not over already. So when Donald Trump came into that people's house last night and started passing out his speech, and the Speaker of the House reached to shake his hand, he ignored her. That was like that marriage that has fallen apart. That was like a house divided, and a house divided cannot stand. A marriage divided will not stand. A nation divided will not stand. And that's what we saw when Donald Trump came in and rejected Mrs. Pelosi's handshake. It made you feel as if the devil is in the house. Now, you heard what I just said, what I offered the people, because that's what God wanted. When Trump started speaking last night, he gave you the impression that that stuff had already been met. He has come in, and we might have had 45 presidents or 44 presidents, but none of them was anything compared to this great big God we got in the White House right now. Let me tell you about this God in the White House right now. He's one of the biggest liars. He's a con artist. He's a thief. He's a divider. He's a racist. He's a bigot. He's filled with hate. He is everything that epitomizes what the devil is all about. Now, I'm not saying he's a devil, but he got the spirit of the devil walking between that mainframe of his. And there's no promise in him. He's talking about cutting Social Security, talking about cutting health care. All those things that he was holding up last night about what he wanted to do was nothing but lies. He's planning on doing just the opposite. And the greatest thing that I think Ms. Pelosi could have done on public view was when he finished making that speech, stood up, take each page or section of the page and tore it up so the American people, at least Democrats and others who are not drunk on the Trump control, and the people of the world can say that we the people of the United States of America, and I say we the people because that was the people's house, and the House of Representatives represent the people. I heard last night that the Senate didn't represent the people, they represent land. And so, by her standing up saying to the world, this guy's lying. She said to France, she said to all our allies who probably watched this thing, that Donald Trump was just a big lying instrument standing up there before that camera, speaking out all those lies. Now, I know there are a lot of people who probably reject that. They thought that she was being very insensitive. But what do you expect when you got a man who's committed all these crimes? And then the House try to get as much information as they get, and they get enough to substantiate the fact that these things did take place, but the witnesses who even knew more information, who could substantiate even clearer or take it out and clear his name, he made sure not a single one of them got a chance to speak. And every human being in America, I don't know about the rest of the world, in America knows what was going on. What Donald Trump was doing is lying and cheating. Hiding people is guilt. There's no innocent person that's going to hide his innocence unless it's going to get him to burn or get him out of office. This guy was as guilty as he could possibly be, and all of America knows it. Those people that were supporting him, they'll tell you, we know he's no good, but he can put in power the kind of people that we want in power based upon the Constitution and the administration of our system of government, that if we got the people in power, it doesn't matter who's in the White House. We can still run things. And what does it mean by run things? It means that you will have those who are what you call the haves and the have-nots. It means that you will have poverty and crime and violence continuously. That's what it means. That's exactly what it means. And then he calls out some dude named Rush Limbaugh. I remember a few years ago, I used to go to some meetings to just check out people when they talk about God to see what they were talking about. I ended up with Reverend Moon's group one day. And during that conversation, I heard them for the first time. I had never heard of a guy named Rush Limbaugh. But these guys were talking about Rush Limbaugh had it on the money. He knew exactly what he was talking about. Got my attention. I couldn't wait till the meeting was over. Got in my car, turned the radio on, and let me find this Rush Limbaugh and see what he's saying. And I found him. And by the time he had been speaking about 5 minutes, if it were possible for me to put my hand through that windshield without breaking my wrist, I would have. I mean, I saw so much hate in that dude coming out of his mouth. And Donald Trump held them up last night as one great American, a unifier, a guy that stands for all of the decency of America. Can you believe that? Well, that's what he did. Now, and then they went back a little bit later on as they were doing some fact checking, showing the kinds of things that Rush Limbaugh has said over time, even now. And he's talking about slavery, talking about black people should be upset in slavery. Why are they upset with white people? The white people fought a war to end slavery. But who did they fight against? White people. What kind of white people? White people like Donald Trump. White people like Rush Limbaugh. White people like the Nazi. White people that are racist and bigot. That's who white people fought against, but white people didn't fight against that. They were fighting against evil. And he says, black people, I guess, should be lucky and thankful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put this thing down because I'm getting tired of this, just even hearing it. When Rush Limbaugh was saying some things about people coming to this country, you know, they say they got the Statue of Liberty that says, bring me your downtrodden, bring me your misfits, bring me yours who are suffering. It was trying to speak as if it was the same God that I talk about. If you're hurting and everybody's messing over you in your country, in your land, you can't find any decency anywhere, come on over here, because God lives over here and you will be protected. But now they got the devil in the White House. And what does the devil say? Don't you come over here unless you got some money. If you come over here, you can sustain yourself. If you can invest, and you can come on over here. Don't come over here thinking you get anybody benefits. Don't come over here trying to change nothing. You just come over here and say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, boss, yes, sir, boss. They didn't say yes, sir, boss, but they were inferring that's exactly how your actions must be. So I'm thinking to myself, what can I do now? Ladies and gentlemen, I spent the past 3 years talking about Donald Trump. And it's not registering. I mean, the people who hear it, they already know it. But what can they do about it? The people who other hear it, they know it but don't care. So what we can do about it? So I think I will not begin. What is this? This is about the 5th day of January. I'm tired of talking about Trump now. I can't say anything nice about him because there's nothing nice to be said. And I don't need to say anything more ugly about him because if it wasn't said by me, it was said by somebody else. So from now on, I believe when I come to this mic and pick up and start talking to you, I'll try to spend my time lifting up righteousness in a nation, lifting up goodness in a people, lifting up love from God that can transcend itself through the bodies of human beings to others. So I don't think I'll waste my time wasting my time on Trump anymore. From now on, I'm going to use the power of God's love to try to reach you, the people, who have been so deceived that you do not know the difference between a lie and a truth. I didn't say everybody. There are those of you who don't know the difference between a lie and a truth. You know, when the devil came on the scene through Donald Trump, he said a lie was not necessarily a lie, but an alternative fact. So if you accept it as an alternative fact, well, the devil got you. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to give you a few comments on that. And I don't know if you got anything out of it or not, but I'm going to leave it there, and I'm through with America, Donald Trump. Goodbye.